Hi teachers, it's Christy. I wanted to take a minute to share a mind-body technique that I find really effective for stress reduction. I've been using this technique for a number of years and I find it really awesome. It helps me. I oftentimes will do this technique before I walk into a IEP. I've used it in my personal life. Sometimes when I can't sleep, this is my go-to. So I will end up being able to let go of some of the things that are keeping me awake at night. So it's called emotional freedom technique. It's also known as tapping. So it's based on Chinese meridian therapy. So if you think about acupuncture or acupressure, instead of putting pins or needles in specific points in our body, we're going to use our tapping. We're going to use our hands and we're going to tap on different parts of our body, and I'll show you those meridians. This is an evidence-based technique. There have been a number of research studies that have been conducted over the last 10 years that really show its effectiveness for reducing specifically anxiety, really strong for anxiety, but fear and other kinds of things that stop us sometimes. So I think it can be really effective. It's great for reducing stress. So how we do it is we first think about what it is that's upsetting us the most. And I'm going to suggest that for this video, I'm just going to talk about anxiety. And maybe we're anxious about walking into the classroom. Listen, teaching is a stressful profession. And teachers do amazing things, but stress is really hard and we hold on to it a lot. And then it shows up in our personal life. We feel run down. When we're stressed out, we're more likely to catch cold because our immune system is compromised by all the stress we're hanging on to, all that cortisol in our bodies. EFT is really effective for reducing cortisol. That's what most of the studies are showing. So that's why I love it so much. So we're going to think about what it is that's upsetting us. As I said, I'm going to use the word anxiety for this one. Then we think about where we feel it in our body. And for me, when I'm stressed, I tend to feel it like I can tell I'm really stressed out when I'm having a hard time taking a deep breath, when I feel like my earlobes are on my shoulders. So sometimes I just need to, let my shoulders drop and take a deep breath. And then I can get back to feeling a little bit more like myself. But this is what you want to think about, is where do you feel it? It might be your stomach. Maybe you get an upset stomach. Maybe you have digestive problems when you're stressed out. Maybe you have headaches, sore muscles. Think about how you feel it in your body. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, I don't feel any anxiety, everything's great, to 10. I am so anxious, I don't know if I can walk in that classroom again. So we're going to rate ourselves. So I'll start with a 10. We'll say we're at a 10. And then to start a tapping round, we do what's called a setup phrase. And for the setup phrase, we're going to say the same thing 3 times in a row while we're tapping. And we're going to, just for the setup phrase, we're going to tap on our karate chop point. So the meaty part of one of your hands. Now I use my right hand to tap with, so I'll tap on my left hand. And we're going to use our 4 fingers and we're just going to tap all along this meaty part. And we're going to say, even though I feel anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, then we'll move on to our meridian points. The next meridian point is right here at the eyebrow point. So it's not right in the middle, but right here where our eyebrow is. And we just use 2 fingers to tap on our eyebrow point. I'm going to tap about 5 to 10 times. Just like that, gently. We're not hurting ourselves. And then on the side of the eye, right there on the bony part, side of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the mouth. And then we're going to go to our collarbone point. So where our collarbone comes together and there's that dip, right underneath there is where we're going to tap. Now I tend to tap with my fist at this point so I can really get to it. And I also have just tapped on my face and I don't want to take the makeup on my fingers and put it right on my shirt, so I'm going to tap with my fist. And then the next point is a little interesting. It's right at the bra line, right underneath our armpits. So a lot of times people will tap this way. I like to tap this way on this one just because it's easier for me. And then we're going to tap the top of our head, so just kind of the crown of your head. So I use a claw and I tap like that. So let's kind of put it all together, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. We are going to keep saying anxiety, and the reason we keep talking about what's upsetting us is that if we don't acknowledge it, we can't deal with it and let it help it to go away, right? You don't go to the doctor and say, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. You go to the doctor and you tell them what's upsetting you. You tell them what's bothering you. So we're going to do that this way. What you resist persists. So if you're feeling it, acknowledge it and deal with it. And that's what the tapping will do. So let's try. Okay, so we'll just start with our setup phrase. Even though I'm feeling anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All this anxiety, 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 all this anxiety. And I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to kind of feel my body again. How am I feeling? And if I've been feeling anxious, and if it's dropped a little bit from a 10 down to a 8, 7, 6, for some people, tapping works really quickly. For other people, it might take a little bit more. You might want to do another round. And you just say this out loud. If you're so anxious you can't say it out loud, just be thinking it while you're tapping. It's really important to just sort of center and be in connection with your body while you're doing this, and then you can see some release. Anyway, I hope this helps. If you want more information on tapping, I would be more than happy to talk to you about it. I love this technique. Thank you very much.